What's up? Great game. What's up? Great game. Great. What's up? Great game. Great. All right, we good?
And I can hear myself now. Okay, we're
All right,
good.
good.
All right, I was just saying, what's up, Knicks Nation? How we doing? Great game tonight. Yeah, Zach. How about you start us off? Got to hear what you want
All
to
right.
say here.
So I think I can talk for everybody. I'm shocked. I think you're obviously shocked with this outcome of this game. I
Yes.
think usually when you see a game like this versus the Bucks and the Knicks, Bucks are a top 3 team in the NBA. I think that's nothing to argue. You think, did the Knicks win or did the Bucks lose? And I think if the Bucks shot well, I think we would have saw a closer game than a 20-point blowout. And I don't think the Bucks would have obviously pulled all their great guys. 7 minutes left in the game. I still think the Knicks won this game. I think how well all these guys played together. I don't think it was containable for the Bucks. And obviously Giannis had a great game. It's Giannis.
Yeah.
But everybody else didn't really play that well. Besides Middleton. Middleton, obviously. But yeah. Do you have anything to add?
I couldn't agree more. Knicks played out of their freaking minds tonight. Julius Randle has been playing his role throughout the first 3 games of the season here. He's playing fine. I'm very much appreciating the way he's playing. He's finally stepping up into his correct role. And yeah, if Julius Randle, I feel like, can keep up this pace, and obviously you don't expect 29 from him every time, every night, but if he can put up a consistent 20 points a game, make the same passes he was making this game, he's going to be a serious threat. He's a good player right now. If he can keep playing like this, we have no reason to trade him. No reason at all. And
Yeah.
no, I'm really having a fun time watching this Knicks team so far. I think we have a lot of potential, a lot to look forward to in the next few years, even in the next coming months. We saw a lot of signs from Mitch tonight. He played good. No foul trouble again for the second game in a row. He didn't have much foul trouble last game, but we'll get into that a little later. Zach, I know you were a big fan of Julius Randle tonight, particularly because he's on your fantasy team.
Yes.
Do you have
I was very excited.
anything you want to add or talk about with Julius Randle? Because that's the guy we're starting off
Yeah.
with tonight.
So, like you said before, we're not going to expect 29 a game, but like you said, 20. I
Yeah.
think that's what we expect from this guy. We gave him the money, and he is still 26 years old, so he still can develop into a guy that can put 20 and 10 like he did tonight.
Yes.
Or he overachieved that, obviously. But, yeah, I was very impressed by Randall. And I feel like we're going to see this. We might see this more a couple times. I think we should. We should expect this to happen, like, at least 5 times this season.
Oh, yeah,
So-
definitely.
I'm very impressed. I was very excited to see a guy that we talk a lot about needing to achieve tonight
Exactly.
for this team.
It's about time Julius Randle stepped up. It took him a whole season to do it, but I think he made some great off-season improvements. And so far, I'm very, very impressed with how he's playing. Now let's talk Reggie Bullock. Nothing in particular was special about him tonight, but he played his role fine. I say that about him pretty much every game, unless he has a crazy game. But yeah, he played good. 2 personal fouls, not too much. He was benched for most of the game because Alec Burks had himself quite a night, coming off the bench, right? Didn't Alec Burks come off the bench? Yeah, he did.
Yup.
Yeah,
Hey, that might just be his thing.
he's better than Reggie, but it's a good thing that he's coming off the bench. Because honestly, without him coming off the bench, I'm not sure if we would have had that spark in the first quarter that kind of brought us up. And I think that's kind of the thing that wins games is benches. I mean, we see the Clippers, not even just last year, the year before that, when the Warriors still had KD and all that sort of stuff. When they had Montrez and Lou coming off the bench for that team, the starting 5 was honestly not as good as the bench unit. And I feel like it can kind of be interchangeable with this Knicks team, kind of in that way. Depends who we have coming off the bench every night, because eventually we'll have Quickly, we'll have Austin.
Exactly.
So we'll have guys
Opie.
like, and Peyton had himself a night, which doesn't usually happen, but that also propelled us to the win. Just stuff like that. But like I said, Reggie Bullock, normal night. Zach, if you have anything to comment on Reggie, honestly, I feel like he just played his role tonight like everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're going to say a lot of these guys were going to be like, we didn't say their name many times, which is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to say that about a lot of these guys tonight. We saw main guys, and then we cannot say that much bad about any of these guys because of how well they played. Well, we could say a couple things, but
yeah, of course.
What you were saying with Reggie, we didn't say his name much for a reason.
Yeah, well,
didn't do anything wrong.
Thibodeau didn't play him a lot of minutes tonight, but it was just because guys like Alec Burks, who, like I said, we'll get into later, just lit up the floor tonight. There was no reason for Reggie to play when he just wasn't needed out there.
Yeah.
Mitch, I was very impressed with Mitch tonight. He played a lot of, I think, one-on-one at one point in the post with Giannis, and he was keeping his hands up. He was playing efficient defense. The only fouls he had were, in my opinion, good ones. I know he had a foul on Giannis in the first half. He kind of just swiped at him, it was a smart foul because he had just a perfect open lane for a dunk. Forced him to go 1 for 2 from the free throw line, so it was an efficient foul. And the other foul I can't recall, but Mitch has been playing good. The past 2 games, 9 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, a block. I mean, he played his role tonight. You really can't ask much more.
Yeah.
4 for 6.
Yeah, we just need him on the court.
100%.
And as long as he keeps his hands up, he's going to stay on the court and get these types of minutes, which is what we expect from him.
Yes.
And the offense, we don't need much offense from Mitch. We got enough guys taking their little middies, and Mitch is going to come in there with the alley-oops and the dunks.
Exactly.
That's his exact role. Put up like 4 shots a game and play great defense, and now he finally is doing that. Just great to see.
I will say, I could talk forever about Elfrid Payton tonight. I honestly didn't even think he should have started tonight over Frank, and I will say I'll take that back for right now. But next game, it's a different game, okay? I'm not going to say Elfrid will keep this sort of stuff up because it's Elfrid. You really, again, can't expect much from him, but we wouldn't have won tonight without him playing. I mean, he played amazing. He started out early, I think 9 points in the first quarter. He got subbed out relatively early, too. I think it was only like 7 minutes into the first quarter. He had 9 points. Boom, Tibbs take him out. So, I guess Tibbs kind of knew what he was doing, but I feel like that was a ballsy move by the coaching staff. I know if it was me, I wouldn't have taken him out. I would have let him ride through the whole first quarter. But, we see, Tibbs made some good decisions tonight. He made some bad decisions, and we'll get into that later. But Elfrid had an amazing night. He hit most of his shots, 12 for 16. Didn't miss a three-pointer, which is not like him, but he was on fire. Could have shot better from the free throw line, but again, we still won by like 20 points, so it doesn't matter that much. But yeah, he had 7 dimes, 27 points. Perfect. Amazing.
Yeah. After last night, incredible.
Steph
that
Curry
might be
night.
One of his best games of his career.
Yes, there's a good potential of that. I mean, it was against the Bucks as well. Drew Holiday, very good defensive team. We kind of smoked them. So, great job by him tonight. Props to you, Alfred. I'll let you kind of start off about RJ Barrett tonight if you want.
So, we obviously saw the inconsistent shooting, from the 3 at least. The driving, again, I feel like we didn't really say his name much, because we were just blowing him out with our main guys tonight of Payne. Not our main guy, but tonight, obviously, he was our main guy. And Randall. So, yeah, I feel like it was the same situation with Reggie, where we just didn't really say his name, because of the main guys just outplayed him. He didn't really have to do much. He just did his little facilitating that he had to do. He put up his stats with the rebounds and the assist, but, yeah, really not much. He didn't do much. He didn't need to do much, so.
Yeah, exactly.
The hot guys shoot, which is what you're supposed to do.
I will say he did have a bounce back night tonight. I know he always plays a lot of minutes. The staff, regardless of who the head coach is really just going to push him to play as many minutes as possible so he can develop. But 7 for 17 is not bad. 0 for 4 from 3 definitely could get a lot better. Definitely should get a lot better. But 3 for 4 from the free throw line, not terrible, 75%. He came in with his 8 rebounds, 4 assists. And I couldn't agree with you more, Zach. There was a lot of bigger names out there tonight. RJ Barrett, not the headliner tonight. We had 3 guys that probably played better than him. And honestly, even that, I mean, saying Frank honestly played better than RJ tonight, who we'll also get into later. But, he just had an RJ Barrett type of night. But he bounced back big time from last night's loss. That was very embarrassing. So
Yeah, and 17's great for RJ though.
phenomenal.
He just
That's
got
exactly what we
outshined. It
want.
felt like
Exactly.
that's great.
He had a
He
good
got a
game.
lot of minutes though, so you do expect
Yeah.
17, 15, but still did his job. That's all we got to look for.
Exactly. Now Kevin Knox, he played good tonight too. It was pretty much just a team game we played tonight. We played phenomenal. Anyway, Kevin Knox, seven points tonight. Now, although that may not stand out in particular because he played 26 minutes, he scored when it mattered. Right? It was like those situations where, he wasn't shooting particularly well. Maybe at some points more than others, but he did come up clutch when it mattered. When we were kind of losing the lead a little bit, or when Giannis was on the court, who always is going to be a threat regardless, because Defensive Player of the Year, for God's sake. But yeah, 3 for 8, 1 for 4, 3-point shooting. Not super good, but we won, and he had a plus 17 plus minus, so he didn't play bad.
Yeah, not at all. He gypped a couple assists from Randall, like I was saying to you during the game, but
yeah,
he did his job. It didn't matter. It was at the end of the game.
Right.
Where he was just missing a couple threes, but yeah.
I totally forgot to mention this. His defense was amazing. He had a nice defensive sequence on Chris Middleton earlier in the game, and then just throughout the game he was diving on the floor for the ball, which we actually didn't see from Kevin Knox's first, what is this, his third year so now? Right.
This is his third year. Yeah.
So his first 2 years in the league, he just would never do that. It was usually just, okay, let the other team dive on the floor, and then I'll try and get a jump ball. But tonight it looked more like, okay, I'm the alpha. I want to jump on the floor and get the ball. And he did that, and he did it perfectly. He did his job. So give him that credit, too. Definitely worked on his defense. Mm-hmm. My favorite player, Ignas Brazdegas, only getting 1 minute tonight. Didn't play super hot.
Favorite player?
2 points in 1 minute. Yeah, definitely. Ignas Brazdegas, Westchester Knicks, baby. But, yeah, not going to judge Iggy. He did get in a little altercation with Thanasis, though, at the end. That got me a little pumped up, Thanasis.
Yeah, it looked like he caused that a little bit. Not Iggy.
No, Thanasis did, yeah. But, Iggy he kind of swung back. He swung back. He wants to fight for himself.
Yeah,
he's trying to fight for rotational minutes here. He's a dog out there. But,
I don't know about that
one. Yeah, he had 2 points, 1 rebound, in 1 minute. Not terrible. His per 36 are probably crazy. But
yeah, 1 point.
Yeah.
That 1 bucket, that 1 layup.
He had 2 free throws, so he missed that layup. Remember?
Oh yeah, he got fouled. Yeah.
He made the free throws. Oh yeah, and when he had that altercation with Thanasis was staring him down like he's big or something. Like, you're losing by 20. You can't talk.
Could have been frustration.
Sure, but I don't care. This is
doesn't matter.
This is it's a good night. Obviously, I have mixed feelings about winning a game like this, and I know we kind of talked about that one-on-one earlier, Zach. Whether or not it's good to win games like this, but
yeah, with our ability, it's not going to happen much. So,
right. But
it doesn't matter. It's so early in the season. It's just great to see this team win.
Yeah,
such a great game like this.
Yeah,
it was like that Cavs game where nothing went wrong. That's how it felt this game.
Okay. Ignas Brazdegas wasn't a big piece in this win at all, so move on from him.
Yeah.
Nerlens Noel. He played good tonight. He played his role. I think at one point he had an unnecessary foul, which was a little annoying, but that was about it. He only had 1 personal foul anyway. 2 points, 3 turnovers, so yeah, he couldn't hold on to the ball tonight, but 4 rebounds as well. He didn't play a lot of minutes, played 13 minutes. He played behind Mitch tonight, which is exactly what I wanted to see. Because I didn't mention, but Mitch did play 35 minutes tonight. Staying out of foul trouble is saving our butts here. When he stays in foul trouble and he's on the bench, Nerlens Noel is a serviceable piece, but he's no Mitchell Robinson, right? Nerlens Noel, if you wanted a Mitchell Robinson type of thing from him, look at him in college. Not now, okay? Because he's definitely not. He's a shell of his former self, quite frankly. And that's no offense, but it's just true, right? He's not what he used to be. And Mitch has
we got 2 centers on this team. It's Noel or it's Mitch. And you want to see Mitch play the 35, at least. Or not at least. At max.
Usually like 30.
30, 33, in that range. And Noel for like 16, 17 minutes a game.
Right.
So, that was nice to see him play a little extra. So,
yeah,
especially
good.
On a back-to-back game.
Yeah.
And he's finally getting those minutes that we want to see him get.
Okay. Jared Harper again,
Yeah.
not a big piece of the win. Kind of skip over him. 2 minutes played. He just played the garbage minutes. Frank Ntilikina. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. Thank you, Frank. You came up clutch. You played your role perfectly. Could not have asked more from you. His shooting tonight proved a lot of his haters wrong. Hey, what's up, Hut Bros? It's nice to see you back on the stream. I'm sorry for that abrupt ending to that one stream. We had a copyright claim. That won't happen again, but how are you, Hut Bros? You got any questions, opinions? I know you mentioned you're a Sixers fan the other time that we talked in the chat. I think if I remember that correctly. And the Sixers kind of dumped on the Knicks the other day. I wish you had come to that live stream if you were available. Yeah. But until we hear anything more from Hut Bros here in the chat, yeah. Frank Ntilikina, 4 for 6 tonight. 4 for 4 3-pointers. He looked like Steph Curry out there. Okay? He played out of his mind. 12 points. Only 19 minutes. 4 personal fouls, but he was playing hard defense. He was giving it his best. And I know a few times he got switched on to Giannis and he played some good defense. So I'll definitely give him that. He was guarding the other team's best player for a lot. He said, I'm not very happy the Sixers lost to the Cavs. They did. I was not aware of that. When did they lose to the Cavs? Yeah, I've really only been keeping up with Knicks, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was today.
It's been really tough to keep up with other teams.
Oh, yeah, Joel was hurt that game, so that
that's right. Yeah. It's a shame. Me and Zach were talking a little bit about fantasy before the Knicks game, and I mentioned that Joel had been out with back tightness. But, I totally forgot that they played today, and that's a shame. They weren't playing very good. Yeah, it's hard when you have your best player on the floor is Ben Simmons, who is a liability, whereas he just can't shoot. But if you're playing a team like the Knicks, clearly there's always going to be, there's always going to be a hole in the defense because we just suck. But tonight there was no hole in the defense. We built a wall.
Very true. We built a wall versus Giannis.
Yes, we did.
And it worked.
Yeah, it's just going to be it's a shame for Giannis because until he can develop that three-point shot, teams are going to do that to him, and they're going to have a really tough season. And here's why, okay? If Giannis doesn't get a shot, we see in the playoffs, year in, year out, there's always a team, whereas this year it was Miami, or, this past year, and they just built a wall. And he couldn't shoot, and his teammates couldn't shoot, and tonight they couldn't shoot. They shot 18.4% from three-point range. That's awful. You got to expect better from players like that. You got Drew Holiday on the floor. You got Brook Lopez. You got Chris Middleton. Those are all, honestly, potential 50, 40, 90 guys. I know Brook Lopez is an elite shooter in itself. I'm not sure how he is from the free throw line, but I know Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton are lethal when it comes to shooting percentages. And they just didn't play right. Didn't play good tonight. Hey, Zach?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I was making sure.
I had nothing to add to that. No, you just covered that perfectly.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if we're looking into the stats a little more, and it's a shame because Chris Middleton is on my fantasy team, I'll admit. So I was rooting for him a little bit tonight, but that's okay. Anyway, he went 1 for 6 from 3 tonight. Giannis went 1 for 5. Brook Lopez 0 for 4. Drew Holiday 0 for 4. DiVincenzo came in and shot 2 for 4, but I didn't mention his name for a reason. He played fine tonight, but he's also not a big role in this team. Like, you can't give DiVincenzo the ball every time and say, okay, shoot 4 for 4, shoot 5 for 5 from 3. You have to rely on Brook and Drew and Chris to do that, and they didn't. We got bailed out because we didn't even play good defense. For most of the first half, they were missing open shots.
Yeah, that was a key reason why this was such a blowout, but who knows with how well Randall, how well Payne, how well Ntilikina was playing. We could have won it. If it was it was like we're in the last minute of the game, it's a tie game. I don't know. I think we would have won that either way, even if they were shooting decent.
Yeah.
Just how well Randall was.
I see Hut Bros. He came in the chat. He said the refs were kind of meh, and they were double teaming Simmons. Howard didn't have a good game, so they brought out their third center, and it was a disaster. Yeah, I don't even know who their third center is on that team. So that's kind of a shame. And I know a lot of NBA players. I just don't know who their third center on the Sixers is.
I have no idea.
Yeah, Dwight Howard, when Joel is out, that's the reason they brought him in, right? Is because if Joel has a bad game or if Joel's hurt, you need that guy to lock up the paint. And they got that in Howard, but if Howard has a bad game too, you're practically already lost. Because what are you going to do? It's not like Simmons can play center for you because then who's your point guard going to be? Shake Melton? And in that situation, you still have no floor spacing. So it's like you kind of get in one of those tough situations. But yeah, kind of going back and talking a little bit more about this Bucks-Knicks game. They just... They didn't have a good shooting night in particular. I mean, you really can't ask any more from the Knicks. We played out of our minds tonight, aside from the Bucks playing bad, because I feel like the Bucks could have played good, and this still would have been a close game. I think so. Julius, 29 points, like we mentioned earlier. And Zach was getting all hyped because Julius is actually on his fantasy team.
He put up 59 fantasy points.
59 fantasy points for
Not
you.
points.
That's big
59.
time. I'm happy.
Yeah, he almost had a triple-double.
But yeah, just a really good overall game from the Knicks tonight. We did win. We beat the Bucks by 20 points tonight. So it was a massive blowout. And Bucks played terrible. So it kind of worked in our favor. What I will try and do is I will try and find... where was I? Which website was I on the other day when it was showing the advanced statistics, Zach? Do you remember that?
Is it ESPN?
I'm looking and I'm seeing that this is ESPN, but I'm not seeing that, so
not?
I'm really not sure.
I thought it was NBA
Gamecast?
or ESPN.
Oh, this is probably the best. Just redirected me out. Anyway, yeah, I think this is it. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's kind of look a little bit further into the percentages and stuff like that. So their leading scorer tonight, yeah, it is good, Hut Bros. I'm very happy we won. Although, if we want to tank for someone like Cade Cunningham, I know the lottery percentages are different. They don't matter as much. But if we did want to tank for someone like him, winning a game against the Bucks is not the most effective way to do that. So,
We're not going to see this. If we see this efficient team at this much...
If we see this efficient team this much, we're making the playoffs, and we're not making the playoffs, so we're not going to see this.
Which is not a stretch to say that if we see this.
No, if we see this, we will make the playoffs, but we won't see this. So
exactly.
It's just, it happens, we have good games here and there. He said, if you think about it, the Knicks are decent because you guys beat the Cavs and we lost to the Cavs, so you prove you're eligible to win some games against good teams. Yeah. I wish that's how it worked. There's nights where guys like Frank Ntilikina and Elfrid Payton and Julius Randle, they don't play out of their minds. And then there's nights like last night where I don't know if you watched the Sixers game last night since you're a fan, but RJ Barrett shot 2 for 15. So if that happens again, do not expect any wins coming out of this team. Because if RJ Barrett's going to miss 13 shots, then you're just not going to win. And if you do win, it's because Julius Randle had 50 points, and that doesn't happen either. So, but looking into the percentages, we shot well better from three-pointer in the field. So I'll definitely give us that, right? We shot 46 for 85, which is honestly better than a normal night for us, considering we usually miss a lot of easy shots. And the Bucks just shot under the league average. They shot 43.2. So that's just, they had a terrible night. They shot 7 for 38 from 3. We shot 16 for 27, which
is incredible.
Is absurd. That's probably like Warriors team statistics right there. Like pre-injury Warriors. I'm talking about Kevin Durant, Clay, Curry, Draymond, like that team type of statistics. But we're the Knicks, so we don't see that a lot. And I think, a big factor of that was guys like Julius Randle, who hit some nice three-pointers tonight. We did have guys like Elfrid Payton, guys like Frank. They just hit their shots tonight, did an amazing job. Made us, shoot 60% almost from 3. In the free throws, also, I will mention that. Giannis, he needs to work on his free throws, Zach. With
the beginning of the year blow shot on the free throw.
Yeah.
Didn't shoot. He got a lot of free throws because he's Giannis. He's going to drive. He's going to draw that foul. So... Yeah. Couldn't. He shot over, obviously 50%, 8 for 13, but you got to make.
It's the misses that count because.
Got to make like 11 for 13. You got.
Right.
That's good.
It's all about momentum.
At least 2 misses.
Right? Because if you're going to make the first and miss the second, and you do that every time consistently, then you're just not going to be considered a good free throw shooter because at the end of the day, although it didn't show 50%, you know that when he goes to the free throw line, there's a 50% chance he misses the first and makes the second or vice versa. And tonight, he kind of screwed his team that way. So, Bucks fan here? How? I'm asking the same question, man. I appreciate you in the chat. Yeah, me and my buddy Zach here, we're asking ourselves the same question. No idea how we won tonight. Phenomenal win. You guys are winning the East. Honestly, I'd rather lose the East and get a good pick than win the East and get swept in the first round by a team like Brooklyn at this point, because they are just better than us by a mile. But yeah, if you want me to explain how, I can. 7 for 38 is how. The 3-point shooting tonight from that Bucks team was horrendous. And I feel like anyone who watched the game would be saying my recreational basketball team can do better than this. And I feel like that's kind of what happened tonight. It just wasn't a good night for the Bucks. They'll have a bounce back game, but it's just one of those games where it's like, okay, didn't play good. The Knicks didn't play particularly amazing defense. The Bucks didn't play any good offense. So it just turned out that way, That's how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Very true.
But yeah, let's get a little bit more into the obviously the rebounding was pretty fair, I'd say. Obviously we see the Bucks clutching a lot more of offensive rebounds, and I think that has a lot to do with the Knicks missing, kind of like, and it's hard to explain, but the Knicks, when they were missing shots, they particularly missed them. Or I'm sorry, when the Bucks would miss shots, they'd miss them particularly high arcing, so it would like hit the top of the rim and then it would bounce back down. You know what I mean? Like a high bouncing type of shot. Mm-hmm. So when that happened tonight, it just leads to more offensive rebounds. It gives guys like Giannis, more time to get in position. And, that leads to 17 offensive rebounds, which the Knicks need to work on. Because I saw Mitchell Robinson, he wasn't boxing out Bobby Portis at one point in the game. He got an easy tip in. It's just stuff like that. My favorite Bucks player, I honestly don't really have one in particular. I feel like it'd be bandwagoning to say Giannis, but I'd say, although I wasn't a big fan of him on the Knicks, I'd say Bobby Portis, considering he was here last year. And he's still a guy who played for the Knicks, and playing for the Knicks in itself is a pretty tough task. So I'll give Bobby Portis my favorite player mentioned from the Bucks. You got a favorite player in the Knicks in particular? I know we don't have many headliners, but it'd be good to know. And, my favorite player before he was released, Malcolm Brogdon, was my favorite player on that Bucks team for a little while. But I guess now Bobby Portis has taken that role. Right? And yeah, if you look into it a little bit more, the Knicks had well more defensive rebounds. But I feel like that doesn't really matter as much, because the defensive rebounds are just missing or making shots if you have good position on the rebounding side of the ball. But, Zach, if you can see the stats, do you have anything to add about our defense tonight?
I feel like our defense was good on, I'd say, I don't know, because we didn't really play that great defense against the 3. I feel like we just got lucky. So I felt good about, like, building that wall on Giannis, but it left the 3 a little bit open, and we got lucky. So I feel like it was a lot of luck on the defense, but yeah, I don't really know. I don't really know what to add to that. That's all I got.
No, I agree with you. There was just not a lot. It wasn't great defense, but it wasn't great offense. Just what happens. You like RJ? He's pretty cool, and Frank Ntilikina's pretty good. Yeah, if you've never watched Frank Ntilikina tonight and you watched him play tonight, you could think he's the best player in the league, because that kid played great. 4-for-4 3-point shooting. I'll say it again. He's got a lot of potential, but he can't have these inconsistent games where he comes off the bench. He has a bad shooting night. Then he doesn't get minutes the next game. He only played 19 minutes tonight, and he shot 4-for-4 from 3-point land. But I feel like a lot of that was just because the Bucks put in their second unit, and that stuff happens.
I don't think we're going to see Frank end these minutes. No. I think once Quickly gets back and Dennis Smith gets back, right. We're not. And Austin Rivers, we just keep forgetting this guy's hurt. We're just not going to see Frank get these minutes. But great game, though. Can't take it away from him.
Yeah. See, Hupro said they got some more good players like Julius Randle. Yeah, Julius Randle, he really has proven me wrong. I'll say that much. Julius Randle, in particular last season, was a guy who I despised. I did not want him on the roster even starting the year, and I was shocked when we drafted Obi and didn't trade him. I like the Obi draft pick. I just don't like the fact that we hadn't traded Randall yet, and he's proved me wrong, proved a lot of Knicks fans wrong. He worked out, he lost some weight, and he's just making the right passing plays. Who's my favorite Sixers player? You know who I like a lot? What's his name? Korkmaz. I like Korkmaz a lot. He's a good guy. I think I like him. I think he's Turkish, and he's kind of like a sharpshooter, and I feel like, honestly, one day I could see him on the Knicks roster. So that's why I like him the most. But yeah, I like Korkmaz. And then obviously my second favorite player on that team I think is Joel Embiid. And that's just because I like his personality. I like the cockiness. That's just my thing. And yeah, I like Joel Embiid.
I like Matisse, to be honest.
Oh, I do
like when he did those vlogs.
I like a lot of them.
During the bubble. I thought that was a cool outlook on the bubble.
Yeah, I thought guys like Tobias Harris. I think Tobias Harris is criminally overpaid, but I think he's a funny guy. I'll tell you that much. In the vlogs with Matisse, I thought that was funny. But yeah, they got a lot of likable players on that team. But yeah, I like a lot of them. And who's your favorite Knicks player? It's a good thing to know if anyone likes any Knicks players, because I know a lot of them aren't very likable. But yeah, there's really not much more you can get into with this type of stuff. We see that the Knicks did have a technical foul tonight. Am I blanking on when that happened? When did we have
Knicks got teed up?
Yeah.
Or we got the...
Maybe it was a double tech.
I just remember the flagrant.
It may have been a double tech at the end of the game with Iggy, but I could be wrong. I have no idea.
Oh, that could be.
But yeah, I mean, you see points in the paint, dude. The Bucks outscored us pretty bad with points in the paint. Just the 3-point shooting. If the Bucks shot at least 50% from 3-point range, we're done. We lost. We just wouldn't have won because the momentum wouldn't have been in our favor, and that's just how it happens. You lose the game after that. You like R.J. Barrett? Yeah, R.J. Barrett, I'd say, is a likable guy. Actually, he's my favorite player on the Knicks right now. I got his, I wore it yesterday in a live stream, but I have his New City jersey, so, I like him. Mitchell Robinson, we got a good story about Mitch,
Yeah.
We met Mitchell Robinson at a Mercedes-Benz event. Yeah, I wouldn't say I dislike any NBA players in particular. I don't even dislike Porzingis. I know a lot of Knicks fans don't like Porzingis, but it's not his fault that he got traded. It's not his fault that we snaked him and started shopping him to other teams, right? So I don't dislike him. I just don't like that he's not on the Knicks.
Yeah.
It's just what
I don't like Porzingis.
I don't blame you.
He got way too arrogant.
Here's the thing, right? At the end of the day, if you're the star in New York, okay, which he was, rightfully so, you deserve to kind of be praised in a way, right? Like Melo left, right? That's all we had left was Porzingis. So I don't think it's fair that Phil Jackson even decided to look at trades for him. Like, I wouldn't blame.
I felt like he just, yeah.
I wouldn't.
I
blame
felt like
the
at
player.
the end when he got hurt, and I heard there was like a story that he just parked his car and just expected someone to just put it there for him, wherever like validated it. But I feel like he just thought of this team as terrible. He was the only good player on it, and he just thought he was above everybody else. As a player, yeah, he was, but you don't see people do that, though. You don't see anybody just look terrible on your teammates.
Yeah.
Especially when you're young and you're trying to be the guy in New York. Just a bad, and then he just wanted out at the end of it. So
it was very tough.
I don't like him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I like him.
It's so hard to hate him. I had so many good moments going to the Garden and watching him play. It's almost like it's not even that like I just don't not like him. That's what it is, I like him in Dallas even. I think he's better off in Dallas. That's just what it is. It's hard for me to hate people like that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
I agree. He belongs more in Dallas, but
100%.
I don't like him.
Yeah, okay, that's reasonable. I won't give you a hard time for not liking a guy who totally wanted to leave, so I'll give you that, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, kind of getting off of the idea of Porzingis, because he's long gone, okay? And we got no return for him, so that's kind of a shame.
Not Dennis Smith.
Dennis Smith he did not play tonight, so that's not very encouraging. All right, sorry you got to go. No problem, man. Just make sure, like the stream, Tune into the next one on the 29th. We're going to be talking Knicks Cavs. I appreciate you stopping by, and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
But yeah, let's hop a little bit more into the Knicks. Thank you for everybody who's tuned in. Just a reminder, give your comments, opinions. You can always call in at 203-961-3409. If you guys want to display your opinions, express your opinions actually on the live stream instead of just in the chat, it's scrolling at the top of the live stream here. I'm sure you can see it up there. And yeah, kind of aside from that though, we played good tonight. We played really good, and it made me very happy to see the Knicks finally play in sync. Julius Randle looked happy. Everybody looked happy, and that's kind of what we need on this team. So, I don't know. Do you have anything to add? I mean, I'd love to talk more Knicks, but I feel like we really covered everything. I think the Knicks just had a phenomenal game tonight. There's really a lot less to talk about when you win games than if you lose games because there's no criticisms.
Very true. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, there's nothing bad to talk about any of these guys. I feel like everybody played well.
Yeah.
So, nothing to hate. Everybody just played, like you said, everybody played happy. And with this team, we got a lot of young guys playing well together. I'd like to see that.
100%.
So, hopefully we get quickly back into this lineup. Maybe Dennis Smith. Frank Ntilikina might take a hit like we were talking about. So,
yeah.
Who are we playing next?
We're playing the Cavs next on the 29th of December.
Oh, okay.
So, we got kind of I wouldn't say easy back-to-back because, it is the Bucks that we played. But it was an easy win tonight, it looked like. So hopefully we can kind of show out against the Cavs. I wouldn't mind taking a loss against them because they are a good team at the end of the day. Don't rule out the fact that they still do have Kevin Love, Andre Drummond, Darius Garland, who I have all... in my opinion, I think Darius Garland's going to have a breakout year. But I haven't really seen him much. So I just think he's kind of recovered from that knee injury he had, was it back in college, right?
I believe so. I think it was an ACL.
It takes a long time to recover from stuff like that. Like, we kind of forget how long it takes. It could take a year, 2, potentially 3 if you don't treat it right. And I think this is kind of his year to show out. But Colin Sexton had a 32-point night, winning overtime the other night. Or maybe that was today. It was either today or it was the other night. I'm not sure. But yeah, they got really good players. So don't get upset if we lose, right? Because it's a good team still, just like the Bucks.
We played great.
Team.
Yeah, we played great twice versus them in the preseason games, but they weren't really trying. So we'll finally get an actual.
Oh yeah, they had all their trashy players in. They didn't play Kevin Love. They didn't play Andre Drummond the game we won. Only guys like Colin Sexton and Darius played, and that in itself isn't enough. So.
Yeah, we made that comeback at the end in the first game we played versus them in preseason. But they didn't try at the end of the game. They had Drummond at the beginning of the game, and then in the second game where we won by like 40, none of them played.
Right.
So we'll finally get a real game versus the Cavs.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. I think we've had a really nice start to the season. 1-2. That's a good record so far. I don't expect us to continue that streak, but if we can get a good lottery pick this coming year, there's a lot of good rookies. There's a lot to look forward to with the G League. Because they're definitely going to develop guys like Jalen Green, I think him going to the G League, I think any player going to the G League out of high school is the best scenario. They're going to be the best players, in my opinion, because they're going to have the best experience, most development. So
that's true.
If you're in the G League, you don't have to worry about finals. Cade Cunningham has to worry about finals. It's just a fact, right?
Very true.
So it's a lot easier, but, that's thinking far out. But yeah, 40-minute live stream tonight. I don't really expect much else to talk about here. Oh, you're back. Welcome back. Yeah, I'm sorry. Unless you want to call in, if you have any opinions, comments, questions, you can call in at the number above there, 203-961-3409. And we'll accept your call, and we'll listen to any opinions you might have if you want to call in. We're about to end the stream. Considering we don't have much else to talk about, but if you have questions, just let me know. I will answer them. Zach will answer them. We'll do that to the best of our ability, and open to hearing opinions. But I'll give you a minute to hear that. But yeah, I think it's a good time to kind of end the stream. Zach, do you feel the same way?
Yep, I feel like we got nothing to add on this Knicks game. I think, when do we play? When's this Cavs game? Knicks game.
7 or 7:30 probably because it's Eastern.
On the 29th.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Tuesday. Okay. So we'll be back Tuesday, talk about Knicks Cavs, hopefully. Like we talked about the Cavs game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got nothing to add.
I see Hut Bro said, okay, maybe next stream since your stream's about to end. Yeah, that sounds good. But you know when to tune in. 10:30. You'll see I'll put up a reminder notification if you go and check the channel. Zach is a Knicks fan, or at least I hope so.
I am a Knicks fan.
Yeah. But yeah, Zach is a Knicks fan. I'd say after we went to that Knicks game and he was wearing the Heat jersey, I felt betrayed. But
okay, I'm a big Tyler Hero fan, big Kentucky fan. I was not rooting. Okay, I might have been rooting for the Heat, but we needed a pick. We were already lost that season.
That's not what I'm laughing at. A rare snack comes in the chat, says, "Why are the Knicks so bad? Elaborate on this answer too." So tonight, if you weren't keeping up, the Knicks beat the Bucks by 20 points. The Knicks won by 20 points against the Milwaukee Bucks. But yeah, we played out of our mind tonight. It was just a phenomenal game. All right, Hup Bros, you got to go. Have a great night. I appreciate you tuning in, commenting. Please come back for the next stream. Nice talking to you. But yes, elaborate on that answer. The Knicks are so bad because we have no good players. It is that simple.
That's very... Do you mean like the current team or why we have been bad for years? Because I explained that.
Well, I think it kind of goes hand in hand though, Zach, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'll totally win the lottery. I think this lottery is terrible. I think they got to get rid of it completely. I think if you're the worst team in the league, you get the first pick. Second worst team, yada yada yada. Mm-hmm. That's how every does NHL. I don't think NHL. I think it has a lottery though. But MLB, NFL, and when you have the number one pick and you're terrible, like the Browns had the number one pick multiple times, you get better. And the Knicks get screwed in the lottery every single year. They've fallen in the lottery from the pick that they were supposed to get for the last 30-something years. And that's why we're terrible. We don't get the first pick. We don't get what pick we're supposed to get. And we fall, and we become terrible. Should have had the first pick with Zion. Should have had the second pick in the Porzingis draft, which we still won because we didn't get Towns, obviously.
We probably wouldn't have even had a chance to get Zion because by that point we'd be good anyway because we'd be getting good picks. If they just fix the system.
That's true.
Right?
That's a great point.
You just have to think about it that way. But Anthony has elaborated on his question. He said, well, he didn't watch, and that question didn't work out. So he asked if Giannis played tonight and Middleton. Actually, everybody played tonight. Giannis, Middleton, Drew, DiVincenzo, Brook Lopez, and we just won. They shot 7 for 38 from 3, which totaled out to be 18.4%. And we shot almost 60% from 3, and we won the game because of it. It's that simple. Julius Randle played better than Giannis tonight. He had 29. Giannis had 27, which is, I guess, best power forward in the East. Throw it up there, maybe. Who knows?
Okay. I don't know about that one.
That's the cocky version of me talking. But yeah, the Knicks, they brought home a really clutch win tonight. And I will say, Giannis actually played worse than Randle on every side of the ball tonight. Randle had 7 assists. Giannis had 5. Randle had 14 rebounds to Giannis's 13, and Randle had 29 to Giannis's 27. So he played better than Giannis tonight. And that's a fact, okay? I'm not being biased. He did. He shot better free throw percentage too. Maybe not field goal, but he still had more points. So, but anyway, I think this is an appropriate time to end the stream. I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Zach, if you have anything to add last minute, I'm totally up to you.
I got nothing.
Nothing to add? All right.
Nothing to add.
Rear Snack says Bucks are trash. They're overrated. You know what? I could argue that. Although, every year, well, no, it's not that. It's that the playoffs every year where they get there, they're the best team, and they always lose. But we'll see. Is this a Toronto Raptors, DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry situation? Who knows? I don't know. They were good every year. They couldn't make it out of the playoffs. It's just what happens. But yeah, when the Bucks have a wall in front of them and Giannis can't drive to the paint every time, they lose. they can't win.
Yeah, he's got to rely on his teammates and his shots, and they didn't.
Yeah. All right. Well, I really appreciate everybody for tuning into the stream tonight. Zach, I'll let you know in like a few seconds what's going on. But I'm gonna have to mute up here. Anyway, hope you all enjoyed the stream tonight. I had a lot of fun live streaming it, and Zach, I'm sure you had a lot of fun too.
Yep.
Good night tonight. Anyway, have a good night, all. Bye now.
Peace.
Welcome to a whole new world. Your planet is now under mid-rangers' control. Humanity will be exterminated.